Welcome back. Applied Physics Lecture Series, Quantum Mechanics, Lecture 5, Wave Particle Duality, de Broglie Hypothesis and Properties of Matter Waves. What is this wave particle duality? Already we know light is capable of exhibiting dual nature, that is particle nature as well as wave nature, but both are not possible simultaneously. Based on this wave particle duality exhibited by the light source, de Broglie extended the idea of this duality to every material particle. A group of particles during their continuous motion with small displacements, they can able to behave like waves. This is the conclusion drawn by the de Broglie based on wave particle duality. In the year 1924, Louis de Broglie, a French physicist, extended the wave particle duality to all matter particles. If light can act as a wave sometimes and particles at other times, then matter particles like electron can also exhibit wave nature. We know very well, usually particles like electrons are exhibiting particle nature by nature, but sometimes when those are subject to the motion, they can able to behave like waves. This kind of conclusion drawn by the de Broglie based on wave particle duality. According to the de Broglie's hypothesis, all matter particles, when those are in motion, possess wave character also. The waves associated with the matter particles are called as matter waves or de Broglie waves. Generally, the particles, when they are exhibiting their genuine character, particle nature, such experiments are called as interaction experiments. Examples for those interaction experiments are photoelectric effect, Compton effect. On the other side, when the particles are capable of exhibiting wave nature due to their motion, such a behavior will be established with the help of experiments like interference, diffraction, and polarization. Then such experiments are called as propagation experiments. And particle and wave are completely opposite aspects. Particle, it is occupying some point-like region and characterized by the characteristics like mass, velocity, energy, acceleration, displacement, etc. On the other hand, wave is completely different aspect. Wave is occupying some space and it is characterized by the parameters like amplitude, frequency, wavelength, phase velocity, etc. Being both are opposite in aspect and behavior, but how the particles are exhibiting wave nature. So the kind of explanation was given by the de Broglie with help of a mathematical relation. Such a mathematical relation will be called as de Broglie wavelength of matter waves. Now let us see what kind of mathematical expression given by the scientist de Broglie. So if you consider energy of a photon, so E is equals to h nu. That can be written as hc by lambda because nu is nothing but c by lambda. Therefore, energy of the photon E is equals to h nu is equals to hc by lambda. Here we know c is the velocity of light, lambda is the wavelength of photon, and h is the Planck's constant. According to the Einstein's Mossage relation, E is equals to mc square. Here m is mass of the photon. So here energy of the photon and Einstein's mass energy relation both are giving the same expression for E. That's why we will equate those two equations. As a result, we will get mc square is equals to hc by lambda. Then we will write lambda as h by mc and that will be written as h by p because the product of mass and velocity will be called as momentum. Therefore, lambda is equals to h by mc, that is equals to h by p. Here p is the momentum of the photon. So this equation, here lambda is the wavelength, so which can be written as h by p. This equation is called as wavelength of photon. We know already photon is a particle, but now we will get wavelength because mass and velocity is accountable here. De Broglie proposed that like photons, all matter particles like electrons are also exhibiting dual behavior. For a matter particle of mass m moving with a velocity v, the wavelength can be written as lambda is equals to h by mv. So in the usual expression, in the previous expression of lambda equals to h by mc, c is the velocity of light. All the particles are not able to travel with such a velocity. That's why velocity c is replaced with v, and this will give general approximation to all the material particles. Therefore, lambda is equals to h by mv, that is equals to h by p. This equation is called as de Broglie's wave equation. If you observe this equation, mass, is the characteristic of a particle. Velocity is also a characteristic of a particle. The combination of mass and velocity gives wavelength lambda, which is nothing but wave aspect. Therefore, a group of particles during their continuous motion with small displacements, they can able to exhibit wave nature. And if we write the de Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy, what is the need to write de Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy? If you observe the expression for de Broglie wavelength, lambda is equals to h by mv. Here h and m are constants. Therefore, the value of wavelength lambda depends upon velocity v. Therefore, if velocity is more, wavelength is less. Velocity is less, wavelength is more. Both are opposite aspects. Both are reciprocals to each other. Therefore, if a particle which is moving with huge velocity, you can't able to. Huge velocity means if velocity is very, very high. So therefore, wavelength is very, very less. And at the same time, such a particle which is moving with more velocity, you can't able to identify the wavelength value accurately. That's why we have to represent de Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. If you write that expression, consider the wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. K is the kinetic energy of the particle. We are all know very well the expression for the kinetic energy is nothing but half mv square. Here m is mass of the particle and v is the velocity of the particle. If you multiply and divide with m, therefore it will give E is equals to p square by 2m, or we may written as p is equals to square root of 2me. Therefore, lambda is equals to h by p and lambda is equals to h by square root of 2me. And if you write the de Broglie wavelength for electrons, if a velocity v is given to an electron by accelerating it to attain a potential difference of v volts, then the work done by the electron is represented in terms of EV, and the work done is converted into the kinetic energy of an electron according to the work energy theorem. Therefore, EV is equals to half mv square. By doing this form of formulation, we can able to get the wavelength of any material particle without knowing the value of velocity. Even though if you don't know the value of velocity, with help of the potential, you can able to find out the wavelength of the material particle. That is the basic aim of writing this form of expression. So here EV is equals to half mv square. Therefore, here V can be written as the square root of 2 EV by m. So by dividing both numerator and denominator with m. Therefore, by making the suitable adjustments, mv can be written as the square root of 2m EV, and lambda is equals to h by mv already known to us. And in place of mv, which is present in the denominator, we will write square root of 2m EV. Therefore, lambda is equals to h by square root of 2m EV. If you observe this expression, h is Planck's constant. We know the value of Planck's constant, 6.625 in 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. And in the denominator, we are having a term m, which is nothing but mass of the particle. And if you consider electron is the particle here, and its mass is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kgs. And E is nothing but charge of the electron, and we know the charge of the electron as 1.6 in 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs. Therefore, in that expression, if we substitute the values of h, m, and E, we will get the expression as lambda is equals to 12.27 by square root of V in angstrom units. Here the value of potential which is represented with V is always in volts. As a result, we will get the expression for wavelength lambda is in terms of angstrom units. Therefore, based on all these observations, we will define matter waves. What are matter waves? So a material particle of mass m moving with a velocity v, it should have an associated wavelength lambda called as de Broglie waves. These waves are also called as matter waves or complex waves. So this definition will be drawn based on the expression of lambda is equals to h by mv. If you observe that expression carefully, a material particle of mass m moving with a velocity v, it should have an associated wavelength. As a result, particle can able to behave like waves. That kind of conclusion drawn from this one. That's why based on that expression, we will define the matter waves. And if you observe the properties of matter waves, so these are the few important properties I mentioned here. Lighter the particle, greater will be the wavelength associated with. Why? Because in the expression of lambda is equals to h by mv, mass of the particle is present in the denominator. If mass is less, wavelength is high. Therefore, lighter the particle, greater will be the wavelength associated with it. Second one is smaller the velocity of the particle, greater will be the wavelength associated with. Second one is here velocity is also comes in the denominator part. If velocity of the particle is less, we will get wavelength as more. Therefore, either mass of the particle is less or velocity of the particle is less, we will get greater wavelength value. That is the conclusions. These are the conclusions drawn from the expression lambda is equals to h by mv. And coming to the another important property, matter waves are generated by the motion of the particles. So this is very, very important. Already mentioned several times in this lecture, a group of particles during their continuous motion. If there is a motion, there is a displacement. That's why group of particles during their continuous motion with small displacements, they can able to behave like waves. Then such a waves are called as matter waves. Therefore, always there is a possibility to produce matter waves when the particles are involved in a motion. Then next property is waves are produced whether the particles are charged or uncharged. This is not an important aspect to get the matter waves. Whether the particles are charged or uncharged, so that means neutral. So there is no difference. We can able to get matter waves, but the only criteria is the particle must be involved in the movement. It is subjected to the motion. And the next property is matter waves are not electromagnetic waves. So as a result, these are not electromagnetic waves. That's why they are not deviated towards the electric and magnetic fields. And the last property, very, very important property is the wavelength of the matter wave is not constant. It depends upon velocity and mass of the particle. So these are the few important aspects associated with de Broglie's idea of matter waves. Thank you for watching.